Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ferdbird the Nerd with an early comic book market report. I am off next week. I'll be out of the country. So I wanted to try and do something prior to the week. You're probably going to be watching this on a Monday, but I did record this after the live show that we do every Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. at Pacific time. But yeah, just wanted to do another market report like I always do every Monday to keep people up to date on what the comic book investing, speculation, whatever, what have you, kind of era is going on right now. Also, want to say a big thank you to the community that is always supportive of our show and our network. We're trying to do as much as we can to involve the community and inform the community about what the sales and the market prices for comic books are. We never try and say, buy this book or perhaps try looking for this. But well, we do suggest looking for that book. I think we're definitely a very cautious network and channel, but take it for whatever it's worth. If you are on the market to see what these books are, like you forgot about them, that's kind of the point of this show. But again, just wanted to say thank you to the whole community. We got nominated for a comic book community award, and we made the finals. So top 5, anything past this is just kind of gravy on top. I feel like Gardner Minshew of the Las Vegas Raiders. Holy cow. Starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders there. And I just really am humbled. And I know the crew is also humbled as well, but it just encourages us to keep the show going. We recently got monetized as well for new super chats. So definitely don't expect to get super chats there, but just really just appreciative of the recognition that the whole community has done. I'm going to put the link in the bio on how to where to go to nominate us, and I'll probably go through it later, or vote for us. And I just really appreciate everyone's support here. And I'll actually highlight the website right here. So this is the Comic Book Community Awards website. If you look right there, it's cbcaawards.org.home. Just really would appreciate everyone going through and giving us a vote. We got top 5 for the best quote unquote spec market or spec show on YouTube. So I really am humbled there, and a lot of really great let's see. Oh, those are my voting rights here. I can't take that off. But a lot of great community nominees as well that were voted as well for. But I'll shut up. We'll get into this market report. I got 8 comic books for this week. I didn't have a ton of time to look over different books, but I want to just look at some things that I've been on the lookout for, whether that be for my personal collection. Just curious of how much it's worth. I would say I have one that is definitely, if you're a longer term investor, I would definitely go 100% if I had the cash into this book and at the grade. I think it's definitely investable. It could be a long-term, especially for how the MCU is and, where this particular team is going. I think it's a really good place to put your money into if you're kind of in that market. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first off is XMen Alpha Gold. The reason I picked this book was when I was watching Deadpool, spoilers, this version of Wolverine showed up, and it took me back to a time when this is literally this X-Men Fabian Naziza world really was the first comic book kind of crossover that I really got into. And I've always loved this futuristic, crazy, if Professor X died, alternative universe for the X-Men. $200 raw for this gold version. Now there's a gold, I believe there's a gold newsstand version. I'm not sure about that, but last I saw $500 for a 9.8. This is definitely not like a very liquid, I would say, book, but it's definitely one book that you'll see pop up from time to time, and I'm always on the lookout for it. The difference being that this X-Men is obviously very yellowish and gold. The UPC barcode is also gold. The regular version, which probably goes for about $4. That is not gold, so it's not limited. So if you are on the lookout for this and you see it somewhere, just make sure that it's pretty evident that this is a yellow label or a gold label as well. So all right, on to the next. I don't have a ton of stuff today. Lady Deadpool #1. I was kind of reiterating that I think Lady Deadpool isn't a bad investment. I don't know if she necessarily has to show up again, but I think that the community and coupled with it's Blake Lively and it's Ryan Reynolds, wife, or she's played by Ryan Reynolds' wife. I think the community is really gonna enjoy having Lady Deadpool kind of part of it. I think she has more staying power than like Gwenpool, to be honest, just because there's more people that know of Blake Lively, and it kind of hits that other kind of market of non-comic book collectors that might be Blake Lively fans. This one's really cheap. It's $20 in near mint, $100 for a 9.8 if you're investing in that hard to find 9.8. It is a one shot, so this particular one's a one shot. But I just think the cover's great. It's pretty funny, and it kind of harkens back to the movie a little bit as well. But for $20 for a movie that is almost out of theaters and performed really well, I thought that was a pretty good price. And for Lady Deadpool, I think she's here to stay. So on to the next. Dragon Ball Z #1. One Piece, Pokemon's kind of dominated anime lately. Dragon Ball Z's always been a consistent runner, though. It's always kind of been in the background. Yeah, the story's kind of ongoing and it's repetitive, right? But say what you will, there's like 17 different video games of Dragon Ball Z, and there's about 17 different seasons of Dragon Ball Z as well. And I think it's one of those properties that people just always know about Dragon Ball Z, whether you're into anime or not. It's pretty interesting. $99 for a near mint copy of this book. It came out in the mid 90s. Now, this isn't necessarily the first in print version of Dragon Ball Z in print. I think you have to go back to a version of Famitsu or weekly Shonen, which goes for about $2K. But I thought as an alternative, if you're an American investor, this might be a nice alternative to invest into. $99 for a beloved character like Dragon Ball Z that's always gonna have staying power. I don't think that's bad at all. So, all right, on to the next. So this is a read. This is kind of like collector / read. I would say Venom #1 from 2018. This is the book that got me into wanting to do content for comic books. I could not get enough of this whole series. Donny Cates, this is Donny Cates at his absolute best. I think everyone should have this book. The reason this book has meant so much to me as far as readership is it's made me want to read every single Venom series from this point on. Whereas before then, I just never really cared about Venom too much. I thought he was always a cool villain, but I just never really. The writing wasn't the background or just the way they did Venom just wouldn't really adhere to me. But I think this is the best Venom run ever. It's the run starts from 2018 to 2022. We introduced Dylan Brock in this series as well. $20 for a near mint, but I would say don't. I think it's hard to spec on this book, but I definitely think you should read it and get the trade paperback and just see if I'm right. Issues 1 through I would say 15 are a good start. If you can get the whole omnibus, though, I should just go for it. It's a really great read. Couldn't put it down, and hopefully, Donny Cates, if you're watching this, hopefully one day you come out of your shell and start writing again, because when you were writing this book, comics were amazing, and it brought a lot of people to the hobby as well. So, and this is kind of my longer term investment of the week. Before I get into this book, I just want to say thanks everyone for watching the show. If you're a new subscriber or a newer subscriber, thanks for your support in the past week or so. We've grown about 100 subscribers since this past week. So I'm just amazed. And again, if you guys could do this for me, it'd be great. Oh, and hit that like button as well. But yeah, Uncanny X-Men #1. Shout out to my guys at Arcane Comics here in Washington. They are Arcane Comics on Instagram. So if you are in the market for a graded version of this book, shoot them a DM. I think they have a copy still. I'm not really sure. But support local, support someone that I'm not sponsored by them at all. They're just my local LCS. But yeah, give them a shout out. And they have a lot of good back issues as well. 6.5 CGC went for $20K best offer. I don't think that's bad at all. I'd probably try and offer like $15K just to see if you can lowball them and get a better price. But I think for the long term, I'm not too ashamed to say that this is not a bad book to get into and invest for the long term. Reason being is it's a popular team. The focal point, as you can tell from Deadpool, is that the X-Men are here already, if not on the way. They're going to be part of the ongoing Marvel universe they're going to be a big part of it. So if you want the number one like draft pick essentially of the upcoming new era of Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you believe in the spec value of this, this is the book to get. I think if you had like 20K, 15 to 20K to put into it. But I know not everybody, including myself, has $20,000 to invest in a comic book. But people always ask, what's a long-term investment? What's safe? I would be safe to say that I don't think this book is going to go down in value. If anything, it's just going to go up. So Uncanny X-Men, pretty obvious. But I just, if someone doesn't say it, then no one's going to know. So, and kind of going back to more normal levels, Immortal Hulk #1. Again, this is kind of a readership kind of book to get into. This is Immortal Hulk #1. Now, I didn't find particular like one-off prices for just the first issue, but a whole run of this book, went for $219. They were all the first prints as well. Immortal Hulk was kind of famous for having like later print runs that went up for a little bit higher in value. I remember, man, there was like 6 printings of this book plus a 1 in 50 and what have you. This is Al Ewing. I mean, like, unfortunately, Donny Cates is in a state where he's not writing comic books, and that really sucks. However, that gives opportunities for great writers to be coming out of the woodwork, to be kind of taking over that mantle. And I think Al Ewing, who's another gentleman, Patrick Kennedy's out there, or Philip Kennedy, I'm sorry, are two that I think are a good replacement for Donny Cates. But again, $219 for the whole run. So it means that people are actually wanting to read the whole entire series of this book. And I thought I was, I was never a Hulk fan, like ever. Not even during the Thunderbolts series. Well, maybe it's a little bit. Peter David was pretty good. But this was an amazing story. It was terrifying. It was weird. It was odd. It was different. But if you don't have the cheese to spend $219 on the actual first prints of this book, try and get the omnibus or like the digital version. I think it's worth it. So going back kind of old school again, Godzilla #1, the comic book. I just thought like this is like a good PC / it'll hold your investment. I don't think you want to hold your breath trying to flip this book at all, but like I could see this being in someone's collection in like 20 years and not really wanting to like sell it and just have it like hanging up as a conversation piece. I think at this point, everyone that watches content on any type of medium knows who Godzilla is. Godzilla -1 was rated one of the best movies of 2023, and I have to agree that it was definitely up there. The Apple TV series was must see. I can't wait to see the next episode. And yeah, I just think it's a great longer term investment. $550 for a 98 Newsy, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, I think Godzilla comic book number 9.8. Hold on one. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. So Godzilla #1, the comic book, $550 for a 9.8 Newsy. Whether you agree or don't with 98 Newsies, I thought that was pretty cool. So, and last but not least, out of the 8 books we have today, Darkness number 11. Now, this I believe was the #1 selling comic book of either 1997, 96, or 98. I can't remember. The reason being is this particular issue kind of kicked off a story arc in the Darkness series. And this is a 1 in, I believe, 50. You had to purchase like a ton of issues of number 11 issue. I remember when I was a kid, this was like $50 out the gate. And it was in the #1 Wizard top 10 list for like years, or like a year at least. Darkness was like, I would say, the #1, #2, like back and forth, most ordered comic book back then. And if you haven't read The Darkness and you like kind of dark Garth Ennis type, I mean, Garth Ennis wrote The Darkness, Mafia Hitman, scantily drawn ladies. This is the book that I'll never sell this book. $40 raw, $100 for a 9.8 copy. It's my favorite. I don't know how many times I read this comic book over and over again. I just love it. I don't know exactly why. I think it was just, it was kind of like FOMO, popularity, that type of stuff, but it's just a great book. Anyway, if you are wanting some cheap nostalgia and you are like myself and felt this book was one of your favorite books from back in the mid 90s, late 90s, what have you, I'm not specking on this. I don't know if this is ever going to become a show. I doubt it, but it would be pretty cool if they could pull it off. I could definitely see this being like HBO Max type show. But anyway, yeah, so that's our show for today. Again, I just want to thank the community and a little quick 15-minute video for everyone going into the week. I'm going to post this tonight. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about our show, and have a great week. I'll see you guys next Monday, perhaps Sunday. I doubt it. But yeah, just again, thank you everyone for your support. And if you guys could, vote for us for the CBCA Awards, I really appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a good one.